From The National, this is Trending Middle East. It's Wednesday, February 26th. Here are today's headlines. Syria's leader Ahmad Al Shara said on Tuesday that the country must unite around a state that has a, quote, monopoly of weapons. The statement came in a short opening address at the Syrian National Dialogue and an apparent warning to the country's armed groups. The conference has been in the works by HTS leadership since the former rebel group led the overthrow of the Bashar al-Assad regime. Its Monday start date was only confirmed one day before. Almost 3 months after the ouster of Bashar al-Assad, the new administration in Damascus is grappling with the question of its control over the country as one whole. Areas populated in large part by minority groups, such as various parts of the Kurdish-led northeast, remain steadfast in their calls for equitable governance and security. The former capital of the ISIS caliphate in Syria is facing an uncertain future, much like the rest of the country. The city of Raqqa was once a stronghold of the opposition against Assad before falling to jihadists. Since the fall of the Assad regime, it's been a heart of celebration. Since 2017, the city has been governed by the Kurdish-led authorities of the semi-autonomous region of northeast Syria. Now, it's at a crossroads, less political and more economic.
We visited Raqqa last week as part of a larger trip to northeast Syria, and what really struck me in Raqqa is the poverty.
The National's Nada Atalla reported residents struggle to maintain their livelihoods. Many report insufficient wages, and as a result, petty crime appears to be on the rise.
Everyone I talked to said they were barely surviving. Their salaries is $50 a month. Rent is usually much higher. So for people, it's their main preoccupation. The city has been almost completely destroyed by the US-led coalition in its war against ISIS. And since then, really, it's been barely rebuilt. You see massive destruction everywhere. There's barely any electricity. It's very dusty every time it rains. The roads turn to mud. So against this backdrop, naturally for people, the main priority is the revival of the economic situation.
After over a year of political and economic challenges, Egypt has made some recent diplomatic wins that could set it on the right track. Still, with the Gaza ceasefire in a fragile state, optimism is cautious. Egypt is one of the Arab nations most affected by the war in the coastal enclave. It organized and delivered aid through its shared border crossings and received at least 115,000 displaced Palestinians and hundreds of wounded all over the country.
Not only did Egypt, because Egypt shares a border with Gaza, so not only did it have to secure the border and organize aid and deliver aid, and then it became embroiled in long negotiations that were proving very tiring and fruitless at times.
The National's Kamal Tabiqa reports.
I spoke on Monday with 2 former assistant foreign ministers to get an idea of what we can expect for the restoration of a lot of Egypt's interests in the Gaza war. One of them was the former head of the Israel department in the foreign ministry, Ambassador Hussein Hariri, who said that though Egypt welcomes this increase in shipping traffic, and certainly the Suez Canal is something that the government has been working very hard to restore shipping traffic through, he says that there are a lot of hurdles for Egypt, namely the fact that Israel has so far been going back and forth on implementing the ceasefire.
Egypt is playing a key role in the Arab rejection of U.S. President Donald Trump's proposal to take over the Gaza Strip and displace its 2.3 million Palestinian residents. Egypt has instead presented its own plan for the enclave's reconstruction, aimed at keeping Palestinians on their land.
The other assistant foreign minister I spoke to, Ambassador Raqqa Hassan, he said the same thing. He said that so far Israel has proven to be the sort of most unpredictable player in this whole situation, and that if it chooses to relaunch the war on Gaza after the first phase of the ceasefire ends in early March, this could launch back the entire region into chaos again, and certainly Egypt would not be saved from this.
That's all for this morning's headlines. You can get these stories and follow live updates at our site. Yasmin Al-Taji, The National.